1966, and this class of 1960s, you guys have so much in you that you need to be able to document it so that people would read and learn. And this he said in public, that he doesn't want to write a book because he doesn't want to hurt people. I don't think that's a good reason not to write a book. By the way, I think books should be documented for history.
Sure.
But you see, in that answer, you see a man who is not afraid of documenting history, but who is cautious of it.
Sure.
And that's the decency of the man. And then there are my private times with him that I've shared conversations with him. I've heard a lot of that come across. You see something in the public, you ask him privately, he gives you reasons that you were like, oh, wow, this is a decent man.
No. Thank you so much for sharing that. And once again, my condolences.
Thank you so much.
And now, away from the late former president, let's go to some recent role that you just got appointed into. Your appointment as executive chairman of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, PCNGI, places you at the forefront of Nigeria's largest clean energy experiment. In its first year, PCNGI has mobilized nearly $491 million in private investment and converted over 30,000 vehicles, created 9,000 direct and 75,000 indirect jobs, with a target of converting 1 million vehicles by 2027. What will you describe your vision for scaling PCNGI into a lasting structural pillar of Nigeria's green transport economy?
Well, I'm careful not to start talking to the media because I'm still learning and absorbing. It's a very new field for me. It's a green field, but it has an incredible opportunity of potential to grow, like you rightly said, as the largest, alternative fuel. Economy, the green economy everyone is talking about. And by the way, our mandate also includes some EVs as well, electric vehicles. So our goal is the goal of the president as he related to me is simple. He said, I'm going to be remembered as the president that removed fuel subsidy. I also want to be remembered as the one who brought an alternative, a permanent alternative that is sustainable. And that's CNG as electric vehicles. That's, the green transportation. So our goal is to move into high impact sectors, make the gas available all across the country, bring down the cost of transportation of goods and services and agro-allied products so that the prices of those products, wherever they are, get affected positively and downward so that people would be able to afford and then be able to transport people,
from one point to another,
or privately, in a way that it makes sense so that people are not spending 70 or 60% of their earnings on just transportation alone. That is the ultimate goal. And to move away slowly to use natural gas, which we have more in abundance of. At the last count, Nigeria has about 2 trillion cubic feet of gas, and now the technology is evolving about how to use those gases. And we believe that if we use our gas, we have about 128 years to use that gas. If we continue even drilling our oil, it can only last us about 51 years because we'll have 36 billion proven reserve of crude oil. And the way we are going, that's where we're going to top hit about 51 years. So the point is the president wants to make sure that we are able to use our gas, which is our own natural resource, domestically and create the market for it properly and be able to, to migrate to that so that it will be sustainable. It's something we can use, something we can control. And like you rightly pointed out, it's cleaner, it's cheaper, it's safer, and ultimately makes everybody happy. So that's our goal moving forward.
Thank you. What governance architecture, oversight, and safety protocols are you planning to implement, especially as public scrutiny mounts and lawmakers recently launched probes into conversion centers because of some few accidents that emanated from maybe local people that were not accredited to convert?
Yeah, so safety is a big deal for this, and we're working on it in conjunction with other regulatory agencies across the country, Standards Organization of Nigeria, the NADDC, all the people who are responsible for certifying the conversion centers, the inspecting the kind of equipment that is used for the conversions as well. So we are working in tandem with that. We are very clearly aware of the risks involved and why we need to make sure, because one incident is already too much.
Yeah. So Nigeria's economy grew 4.6% in 2024, fourth quarter, the strongest in over a decade, yet inflation remains stubbornly over the roof, moving around 23 to 24%, and poverty is rising to nearly 39% of the population. You've mentioned the sort of work you'll be doing to make sure things go down. How do you think PCNGI contributes meaningfully to reducing that cost of living, creating inclusive growth, and complementing national
with transportation and logistics and haulage?
Okay.
Once you can get the price of that, look, Dangote just recently bought
4,000
trucks of CS. Why did he do that? Because he wants to be able to transport his goods cheaper than he would if he was using diesel.
Sure.
Right? It's simple as that. So he wants to sell, PMS for 800 naira in Lagos and still sell it for 800 naira in Kano, because he wants to take CNG to transport it. So once you get CNG involved in haulage of goods and services, like I mentioned at the beginning, of transporting people, once you reduce the cost of transportation significantly from the economy, it will affect the bottom line of everyone else. So I believe it will drive down the inflation. That's our belief.
Yeah. And now, as the founder of the All Progressives Youth Forum, APYF, and former Youth Mobilization Director, you've long advocated for youth inclusion in governance. What is your vision for PCNGI enabling meaningful participation for Nigerians, millions of Nigerian young innovators, technicians, and entrepreneurs, not just as beneficiaries, but as decision makers in your process?
I think PCNGI is a playing field for young people. I don't think even older people can get involved as much, because the new things, the technology things for young people. It's like entertainment. Once you say entertainment, it's just basically for young people. Those are the players in it. It's a natural course of it. So yeah, it's a green field for a lot of young people. When I walked into the office and I saw almost everyone from top to bottom are just young people, fresh with ideas, and to see how they can do this. So it's a technology thing. It's a new thing. It's like you said, it's a green economy. It's something that is, prevalent in the world today, and young people are more adept at this point in time to catch on to this new technology and be able to use it significantly. So that's what PCNGI will continue to promote.
Thank you. This takes us to the next question. Across Kano, Katsina, Nasarawa, and nationally, you were in various positions of leadership and in party affiliations and campaign roles as well. In what ways do you think you can strike a balance between party loyalty, governance obligations, and delivering public goods, especially under the scrutiny of a new administration, considering you were in the previous administration as well?
I think it's the same party. And I think that's what matters. I just gave you a history of how I met
The late former president.
No, the president, the current president.
The current
It was
president,
through the late former president.
Yeah.
So I think, to me, party loyalty is paramount to me in a lot of things. Everybody knows me as a party loyalist and a party, stalwart in so many ways. I love the APC. It's in my DNA. And then I like to see it translate into governance clearly. And when that doesn't happen, it irks me, it irritates me. And I make that very clear all the time. So party loyalty comes first, but nationally, patriotism to my country comes naturally first, and then
The party loyalty.
I believe the party is a very good platform to be able to achieve some of the developmental projects and vision that we have for the country in its entirety. So I think the party on the one hand needs to be properly run administratively by people who understand what the party is, who have the institutional memory of the party. And the government should run properly for the whole country. And I think there should be a symbiotic relationship where they come in together and be able to do great things. In Kano, we don't have government right now as we speak. I'm joining a meeting for stakeholders tomorrow. We are trying to see how we can get our party back in the saddle of leadership in Kano. But we understand we did a postmortem of why we lost the last election and how did we lose it, and try to see how we can fix that as we go along.
So Nigeria continues to face intensifying insecurity. Given PCNGI's mandates in energy and livelihoods, what role does your initiative play in any, if any, I beg your pardon, in enhancing national security, resilience, or economic stability in conflict-affected states, like in the Northeast and the Northwest?
Well, I don't know what to say here in particular. All I do know is that energy security is part of national security, and nothing can happen without peace. And I believe that the National Security Advisor, in conjunction with the ministers of defense and other people who are in the security architecture of the country, are doing their best to bring peace to places where it's war-torn or places where we've been, bedeviled by all this banditry and stuff like that. But ultimately, our goal is to bring economic prosperity and energy security to every part of Nigeria. Because if one part of the country is lagging behind, it becomes a chink in the armor. It affects everybody else across the value chain. So we hope that this would be nipping the bud as it raises its head, so that we'll be able to deliver what is economically viable to those people.
Many see PCNGI as a signature palliative intervention of the Television administration. What do you want your legacy to be as the leader of this program in 5 years? And how will you measure success even beyond your raw numbers that you probably got available to you now?
What success would be for me is when the PCNGI metastasize into a full-blown clean energy industry where people can grow careers and become self-sustaining without needing government to fund it, to be able to run its course and change the trajectory of Nigerian energy sector and make us self-sufficient and be able to build on that, and people will be able to get new jobs as a result of what we are doing. That is my ultimate goal, so that it becomes something that is big enough to move the country in a direction where it's becoming more self-sustaining and it's not subject or vulnerable to volatilities of international oil prices at every given opportunity.
That's really important, because the volatilities really affect a lot when it comes to pricing per liter when it trickles down to the fueling stations across the nation. And leader, as you're popularly called, I love to call that name as well. There is a lot going on in the country in terms of the economy, security, etc. And most boggling in the minds of most Nigerians in the recent times, if you check the data and internet as well, is the appointment and the way people use their offices to affect the ordinary man on the streets. What's your take on federal appointment as it is, and the way you can change the trajectory as a party, because a lot is building up. People are really saying this administration is not delivering to the ordinary man. What will you say about the whole thing brewing as it is now nationally?
Well, I don't know what you mean by brewing. I do know that the government, which I can't speak for the government, I can only speak from what I know on the perspective of where I stand, is that it has an eagle's eye view on the whole country, and it tries to do a lot of balancing and competence and merit-based appointments, so to speak. Yes, I do know that there's a lot of hue and cry about the skewing of political appointments one way or another. But as a result, I think the government is trying its best to make sure that everything is balanced out. The party needs to come in as well and be able to support the government and advise on seeing that in a political season, sometimes it is not enough what you do. It must be clear that you are seen to be doing the balancing. So sometimes people would complain that there's no appointment on this side, but when the list comes out, you see there's a lot of appointment. But it doesn't matter what the government thinks. It only matters what the people feel. And if the people are not feeling that they are properly represented, then it is incumbent upon us to do all that is right to be able to settle that and placate those feelings. I believe that's serious.
Thank you. And lastly, 2027 is fast approaching. Is there a message clearly that you would like to give the Nigerian youth?
Participate, and don't sell your conscience, don't sell your votes, don't provide yourself for opportunity for people to ask cannon further. Participate. Democracy only makes sense when ordinary citizens participate in it.
Thank you so much, Barrister Ismail Ahmed, popularly called Leader, for joining us on S24 exclusive series today. We look forward to future collaborations, interviews, and to see the giant stride to be pulling at your new office. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Bye for now and see you next time. Registrar, sir, you've mentioned a key things about the registering companies, and you've said you go as far as going to the banks as well and making sure that whoever is dealing anything illegal or a director that left a company, you bring them back to pay. I'll give a case study of a company that I registered in 2017, and when I came to register, it was majorly manual. So other directors in the company were not people I know. It was the lawyer that facilitated the registration at the time. So I abandoned the company. That's me personally. What should I do as a person?
First, you have the option of applying to the CAT for voluntary winding up.
Voluntary winding up.
As you have time to come and file necessary papers to have yourself incorporated, that is registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission. So also when you are leaving the job or you decided to leave that particular business, you can equally follow the same process to have that business now closed officially. What we call winding up. So you have the option of voluntary winding up. And we can also do it by way of court order when the court, if you are involved in a particular crime or whatever they call now, gave us order that we should close that business. We can close it by the order of the court. But here, in your own case, you don't abandon businesses or abandon registered businesses like that. You must submit yourself voluntarily for winding of such businesses to make yourself safe. Because as it is now, even at the Nigerian Revenue Service, their meter is reading against you. Because as far as they are concerned, that business is living. No any official record to indicate that you have already abandoned that business, unless if you have been struck off from the CAC register by way of voluntary submission. So what I will advise you, follow the due process to apply for voluntary winding up.
That's the essence of asking, because I'm sure there are many people like me, because my case is different due to the fact that the person that did the registration actually added 2 persons in directorship for me without my consent, and I couldn't find the person again.
Wow.
Yes.
This is one of the issues. That is the hazard of passing through a third party in your activities. And to make things easy, that's why we made it very seamless in our portal. You can do it by yourself now, registration. And you don't need to bring more directors or more shareholders in your company. You can have a one-man company.
Yes.
One shareholder. This part of the innovations come with the company